Welcome to Keeping the Real in Real Estate. I'm Tricia Farin from William Ravis, and today we're going to be talking about alternative ways to heat your home. I'm going to take you on a tour of my humble abode where I'm going to show you 3 different options that we use to keep us nice and toasty in these cold Connecticut winters. In a time when fuel costs are so volatile, it's really important to have an alternative fuel source so that at least you have options. So if oil's up, you can go to your stove, or there's different types of fireplaces. When I take buyers around, they get confused, not realizing what's the difference between an insert, a wood stove, a fireplace. So today I'm going to go and explain to you some of the differences of a few of them. What we have here is a fireplace insert. It actually is a mechanism that fits inside of your fireplace that would traditionally burn wood. This particular insert burns pellets. So you have a hopper up on top and your pellets go right inside. You buy them by the bagful. Now, because we use it a lot during the winter, we buy it by the pallet, which is usually about a ton. And runs about $300 or $400. And that lasts us a pretty good decent amount of time as long as it's not a frigid winter. The pellets, an entire bag of pellets, will fit into the hopper on empty. But because we don't want to just rely on bringing one bag up at a time, we actually bought a fire pit and we fill the fire pit with pellets so we could use it simply as our refueling source. It makes it very convenient and clean. Unlike wood, which we used to have a wood stove in a previous house which sat on the outside of the fireplace, and that was just a mess. You always had to make sure that you bought cords of wood, that it was dry, that it was sized right, and if the fire died out, it was a hassle because you can go a whole night without your fireplace being on, and then in the morning you have to start the fire. With a pellet stove, it's really convenient. You just set your thermostat the way you would any other thermostat in your house for oil, and it manages the fireplace based on the temperature that you set. So it's extremely convenient. The heat that you get from this is a really warm heat. It doesn't have the unbelievable scent of wood burning fireplaces, and you don't hear the crackling, but you do get to see it. And if you stood right here, many times we're just standing here heating up our hands. There's a blower and it's going to blow this whole area. If you have a wood stove as opposed to a pellet insert, the heat is incredible. You just heat up the entire floor. You can walk around in shorts and a tank top all winter long. And a lot of times you're running the fans because it's just so hot. So if you really like it that really toasty warm, a wood stove might be more appropriate for you. There are others that have other forms of fuel, but this we find to be the most convenient, very affordable, and easy to find. Maintenance is a breeze. Every couple of weeks we need to just simply open the actual stove. It's kind of hot now, so I'm not going to open it. And you clean out the ashes and you clean the glass. There's a tray in the bottom that also needs to be emptied out, and that's it. Once a season, you call a company to come out and they clean the system as more of like a maintenance thing. It's about $250 to have them do it, and it's simple and easy. It's been the perfect option for us. Now I would like to explain to you what a gas stove is all about. So here we are in my game room, which has a gas fireplace. And with this one, I love it because all I have to do is flip the switch. It takes a second and then it comes right on. Now this is fueled by propane, but this process would work just as well with natural gas. Also, the maintenance of it, piece of cake. We've lived in the house for about 13 years, and it was only about 1.5 years ago that we cleaned it out for the very first time. You're going to want to have a company that installs gas fireplaces to do your maintenance because they know the most about it. But outside of that, this one is the easiest. Now I will say it's a little bit more quiet, so you're not going to get the crackling sound. It's very pretty, so if I turned off the lights, you'll have a really nice fire glow. It heats okay. I'm not going to say that you're going to get that warm heat that the pellet stove is going to give, but certainly if I stand here, I'm going to get heat. It does take a little bit of time, but this is a pretty decent sized room, and I would say within 20 minutes or so, the room will feel toasty, and it'll keep the heat in here even after we turn it off. And oh yeah, simple. And that's it. And last, I'd like to show you a different type of fireplace that we have. This does not provide heat at all. This is mostly for ambiance. We wanted it, when we did our bedroom, we wanted to have fireplace in here, but it was going to be too expensive to add a fireplace. So instead, we got this wall unit. It has a well at the bottom, and the fuel that we use is pure ethanol. So this is highly flammable. I would keep it away from kids. You could buy it by the case right on Amazon, and it's not something that you would leave unattended. So if you wanted to sit by the fire, read for a little while, just have a little mood lighting, great. But once you're ready to leave the room, you need to shut it down. But once you put the fuel in, it's really easy to turn on. It really does create a great mood. And while it's not what you would use to heat the room, that's not what its purpose is. But I have found it to be quite nice, especially in the evening when it's a little chilly. I do get a blanket, I sit next to it, and I can't help, even if I'm trying to read my book, looking over because the colors of the flames, and I hear the little whispering sound of it, grabs my attention and really keeps me chill. To turn it off, because you don't want to leave it, you simply just put the little metal plate, and now it's off. And that's important, obviously, if you have little kids, and certainly I would not want to leave this one unattended. It is meant for indoor use, as is the fuel source, but I wouldn't want to take any chances. So that's what I have for you. So you have ethanol for a fireplace in the wall. You have your gas fireplace, which is just a flip of a switch, and you have your pellet insert, which has that really great warm heat and creates ambiance and just looks beautiful in the fireplace. So if you're looking for an alternative fuel source, maybe one of these options will be perfect for your home. Sorry, I got interrupted. I'm Tricia Farin. Thank you for joining me on Keeping the Real in Real Estate.